super stoked to be gathering today to defund banks that invest in fossil fuels, creating climate change. And at Extinction Rebellion, we kick off all of our gatherings with a land acknowledgement. And the purpose of the land acknowledgement is to educate, it's to hold space for acknowledgement and movement towards reconciliation, and to show solidarity and stand with our Indigenous sisters and brothers. Today, we are all gathering on the traditional lands of Indigenous people. Those of us in the Bay Area, California right now are on the heritage lands of who we today know as the Ohlone people. I'm in San Francisco right now on the land of the Ramaytush tribe. And wherever you are, I encourage you to learn more about the Indigenous tribes of your area. And a great resource for that is native-land.ca, which we can put in the chat. It's important that we recognize original stewards of our territory and the atrocities that colonialism perpetuates. Exploitation of Native Americans, African Americans, and Asian Americans created the foundation for much of the privilege and wealth that people today enjoy in this country. We pay our respects to elders, both past and present. We acknowledge that not only are we on tribal lands, but that Native people are very much here and are an important part of our community. And some things that each of us can do as reparations are to support land trusts led by Native people, such as the Segura Te Land Trust, led by Native women, reclaiming Ohlone lands here in the Bay Area, and to support federal acknowledgement of all tribes, and to stop the money pipeline. So with that, welcome everyone to the Defundathon. Today we're defunding big corporate banks that back fossil fuel companies.
Yes.
And Arctic drilling and fracking and oil and gas and pipelines. So we're gonna see how low we can go. I am thrilled to welcome to the show JC Coccoli, famous climate comedian, Jenny Yang, incredible climate comedian, V. Clark Jones, wonderful climate comedian, also featured on Earth Day live stream earlier yesterday, and Larry Bogad of Guerrilla Theater and Tactical Performance. Let's kick this off.
Have any of us, here's my question, have any of us been introduced as climate comedians? This is amazing.
Always get introduced as that.
I'm gonna roll with it. I didn't know I was, but I'm gonna go with it.
Yeah, hard C sounds are always funny.
I need to change my bio. I need to change my Twitter bio real quick, guys.
Immediately, yeah.
Climate control comedians.
Jenny, people that are hot, Yang, that's faux show. Time for us to divest our money out of institutions that fund fossil fuels.
I'll be honest, I didn't even know this was a movement. I'm so ignorant, and now I'm gonna do it because I am truly educated. Because it's like fossil fuels obviously are the heart and the root of causing climate change, and climate change sucks because we don't want mass extinction, especially of animals and especially of us humans. That would suck.
I like that you did human second.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's a toss-up sometimes,
right,
if you had to choose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and all of this is part of the hashtag Stop the Money Pipeline, one phrase, no spaces, to fossil fuels campaign.
Right.
And we're trying to stop funding and fueling climate change by giving these people our money.
Yeah, if they don't have money, they can't do a lot of stuff.
That's facts. That's facts right there.
Let's start with the most basic. I try to be as basic in my communication as possible. If they don't have the money, they can't do the stuff.
Yes.
That's how I look at it. You know?
Oh my gosh.
I'm so glad we're getting educated.
We need to know the offenders. We need to know the offenders.
Tell us.
Oh man, you want me to name names? Ooh.
Yes.
Oh man. All right. I had to do this. This was tough for me because I was banking with them. But Chase, for example, people at Chase Bank need to they're on the list of banks you need to divest from. Boo Chase Boo. Has anybody banked with Chase before?
I had my business account there, and I didn't know they were killing people of the world, so I took it out.
Yeah, it was very difficult for me, not because I have any loyalty to them. I just don't be feeling like doing stuff. But like this was important enough for me to be like, yo, I got to do something. I could, and then I got to learn a lot about like. What's crazy is a lot of the credit unions and the other banks that don't participate in this, they're the ones who really offer the most benefits to the people that bank with them. But because they aren't using all these these negative things, and they don't do things like fracking, and they're not killing people, essentially, they don't have the marketing dollars to hey, come back with us, no checking, you can't get $1 off your Starbucks order, but come on, man, it's a lot of benefits.
You're saying it rings so true, because right now JP Morgan Chase is funding a gas link pipeline on indigenous wetlands.
Yeah,
right.
Yep.
Right.
Want the pipeline there because obviously we don't need another pipeline. Ain't no oil being used, right? Meow. You know what I mean?
Ain't none.
Too much.
Let me see.
And we've been with arrests and indigenous matriarchs and protecting their heritage lands. And I don't know about you guys, but we stand in solidarity with the wet people.
Yeah, Chase, Wells Fargo, Citibank, just to name a few. And fuck it, I don't see that on my list, but Bank of America too, because I really don't like them.
Nice.
I don't even see them on my list, but it's Bank of America. It's got to be bad.
It's right.
It's
not good branding.
America's bank has got to be the worst bank.
The bad tell. Yeah. And JP Morgan Chase is by far the worst. We saw it on that chart. And that's what we're inviting people to cut the Chase challenge. It's not an ice bucket thing. There's no ice bucketing. Post a video of yourself cutting up your Chase credit card and tag it with hashtag cut the Chase challenge.
Honestly,
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead. I was just going to
we need to take over the CTC hashtag cut the Chase.
Nice.
Right?
Oh.
Cut the Chase. None of them.
How many pieces can you cut into? Do some style on it. Can you cut it? Can you give it to 32 tiny chips and then make it into fossil fuel criminal climate confetti and just hurl it? I don't know. Do something festive.
Hurl it.
Fun.
I don't know about you guys, but I just personally, I don't trust any company whose name is 3 names plus acronym. You know what I'm saying? 3 names and initials. That's too much.
Solid point. It's too much.
Don't trust anybody with 3 names.
Yeah.
In general.
It used to be 2 last names. Now it's just 3 names, period. Don't trust anybody. Barclays too. I'm sorry, you can't do it. Gotta cut them. Yeah.
But sounds like JP Morgan Chase is a big baddie because they're funding that gas link pipeline right now, especially.
They're the number 1 banker of fossil fuels. Chase is the number 1. I'm sorry. Chase is the number 1 banker of fossil fuels. Yeah.
They were high up back in the day. It's like they've been adding more money. They've been investing more money into fossil fuels over the last couple of years. If you look at that timeline, which I did, it's fascinating to see. In 2011, it was minimal amounts, and now there's more coming. And it's like, why? What's happening there? Why are they doing that? And where, in my head, at first it was scary. Where can we go with our money now? So credit, but where else?
One place that you can go is Green America. Have we talked about them? Yes. Green America. If you go to greenamerica.org, GREENAMERICA.org. You can. This is so cool. I feel like I never got to do one of those pledge drives. This feels like a pledge drive. Yeah.
Totally.
Matter of fact, if the first 3 people that post their videos, I will send you a tote bag. How about that? How about I put my money where, and it'll be recycled. It might even be hemp. If I find 3 hemp bags, I will send them to you. You can smoke it after.
Hey, Clark, I was not ready for the freebies. I didn't know all the climate comedians had to come up with their own freebies.
You can't do a pledge drive without a tote bag.
I feel embarrassed. I wasn't prepared.
I know. Look at us.
Sending that many tote bags to people, Clark.
Yeah,
right.
no, 3. Just the first 3. I got my microphone. I'm ready.
But Clark, what you were saying is, I did click on a resource that we're going to show all the links later. But there's a really beautiful map of Black-owned banks and credit unions, and I'm in Los Angeles, and there's 2 of them. Wow. Maybe it's time. I think it's time for me to divest out of Union Bank because I was surprised to know Union Bank's on the list.
It's definitely out there.
What's that, JC?
Say that again?
If I'm not Black, I can put my money in Black-owned. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
You know why? no offense, but let's dummy proof this thing. You do not have to be black to use a black-owned bank.
Let's just spell it out.
I just want
You
to
ain't
make
gotta be Asian. You ain't gotta be Asian to use an Asian-owned bank. It's not race-based. It is race supported.
Thank you for clarifying. I was scared.
Dummy proof.
That's great.
I'm trying to think about freebies we can give out. I'll punch up some jokes. Like if you have a joke and you're working on it,
there we
my
go.
limited talent, I'm not saying it's going to be good. What I'm saying is if you cut that card up, I'll at least try to punch up some jokes for you, whoever you are that's going to do this, please.
You know
What
what's so
else can we
cool?
offer?
Yo,
Well, let's
if
take
you-
a look at this
Right.
defundometer that we're trying to empty out right now
Yeah,
for
where we
people to
at?
get the freebies.
Are we there already? Are we there at the defundometer?
You
Jenny.
gotta check out the defundometer. That's
Yes.
our objective. First, let the suspense build. We're gonna hear a word from Rose, who's with Extinction Rebellion, San Francisco Bay Area, and she's gonna provide us with some awesome educational materials on how to divest.
Hey everyone.
Hey.
Oh, my name's Rose. It's so great to be with y'all right now. Really enjoying bringing some lightness to defunding and divesting right now. And I want to share a resource that we here at XRSF Bay have put together. It can feel like really overwhelming, right? Like to realize that our money is at a bank where they're funding these things that are really so harmful for our planet, and then wondering like, where do we move our money? How do we do this? So we have a resource you can find in the chat. It's also on our website, xrsfbay.org, and there it's just step by step. How do you move your money? Where do you move it? Tons of resources. So I invite you to find that link in the chat or go to our website and download the guide there at the top. Really happy to be here with you all and want to pass it back over to our climate comedians and Sandra.
Right. Very cool. Yeah. So I actually followed those links because I wanted to see how I could divest and what would you need to do. And it was nice that they prepare you with, hey, don't do it all at one time. Do it in small increments so you can make sure your payments don't get bounced back. And they gave you these resources and step by step how to do it. So then I downloaded the app and I opened up a checking account, and I'll start small with whatever I can do, and I'll slowly start to take my money out of BOA because I'm all and it'll also be up on Extinction Rebellion, which I think is pretty cool. But I don't know. I find this great. Jenny, where do you bank? Or do you keep all your money under your mattress?
I keep my money in gold. Obviously, I'm Chinese, but also, facts. But also, I've been banking with Union Bank of California, which I perceived as like sort of a more smaller independent bank. But no, I was so surprised to see that Union Bank was on the list.
Right.
So you know, I have a business account and a regular account there. I think I'm gonna do that sort of slow moving of, you know what it's like, you know, anyone play Animal Crossing or Sims? I feel like that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just slowly, like those role-playing games, I'm going to slowly move my little sacks of money.
Sure.
Yeah.
Make sure the first one gets through safely, then you start moving across more. Yeah, all right.
Totally.
Now I get it.
You know, just for all the gamers out there. I don't know how many of you are
I
gamers.
appreciate it.
Yeah. And
All my money's in books. I just need to stick it in the books. That's what I mean.
You get in the
Now
book.
I'm realizing I should do something intelligent with it. All right.
Well, I was worried a while for not having a big bank that we would be able to travel abroad. And now that we can't travel, you can put your money down.
Nice.
You know?
Yes.
There is some positives to this whole thing. I know it's still rough, but we got to look for what we can do. And from the comfort of your couch, you can divest from fucking Chase.
Yes.
Because they're fucking us, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Do we have a caller that's coming in soon? Is that what's happening too?
Yeah, we're gonna have some awesome callers. And our goal today is to get this defundometer down to 0. So
we're showing it.
It's all the way up at the top. Does that represent climate disaster? Like
that's climate chaos. Yeah,
climate chaos.
Boiling over.
No,
don't you see the
tipping
streaks?
point.
Don't you see the streaks of crude oil that it's dragging to the right? You see that?
It's totally disturbing. Yeah.
$0 a barrel.
I'm so excited, people. Oh, this is almost better than a real fundathon. I mean, it is.
A defundathon.
Opposite day for Earth Day.
Yeah.
Let's get some callers.
All right.
Ooh. Who's first? Who's first? Come on, I'm at the edge of my seat.
Bring it in. Bring it in.
Wait, Larry, you and Oprah are.
I am. Well, you know what? Because I was so inspired when Oprah got on board, and that's a lot of money. So she took a lot of money out. I hope there's not. Are we going to get in trouble for pretending that's true? But she took a lot of money out. Now we're good. Really, we have to just keep it going.
Pretending. Look at us right now. We can't get in any trouble. No one can touch us. Literally.
We're unfucking touchable.
We're untouchable.
And at this point,
just like JP Morgan thinks they are. Oh, we just got a ring from Helen. I
Ring,
know
ring.
you, Helen. She's a brilliant theater person. Yo, Helen.
Ring, ring. I heard a ring too.
Helen.
Hello? Perfect. This is working.
Helen Stoltzfus is on here. She's awesome.
Liz is ready. Liz is ready for a phone call. People want to talk to us.
Great.
Hey.
Yeah, hey
There's
guys.
Liz.
Hey, good to
What's
see you
up?
guys. So I am committing to divest from JP Morgan Chase. All of you old people like me who have individual retirement accounts, I had to go through all of this fine print to discover that I owned a bunch of stock in JP Morgan Chase. So I called my investment advisor and said, ditch this.
Yes.
And that. And then I looked at my investment advisor and saw that he works for a subsidiary of the Bank of America. So I had to
Yes.
Yes. I'm so upset. I have to get my whole IRA and move it somewhere else.
The pure excitement to divest. That you fumble it.
Or was that an earthquake? No, excitement. Okay.
Oh, why can't it be both?
You can't.
Liz, between your stylish scarf and your hat, I feel like you're ready for action. I feel like that's like the look.
Right, a cowboy.
Legit. Also, Liz, you can also, that paper that you just threw away, you can add that to your compost.
Excellent. Let's compost the big banks. Very nice.
Excellent.
Those sons of bees.
All right.
Yes, Liz. Applause for Liz.
Beautiful.
Applause for Liz. That's a good, I like that pledge.
Nice, Liz. And you did research. You dug it out. You dug out the truth.
I love it.
I want to have a retirement just so I can tell them to go fuck them.
Yeah.
But that's great, isn't it? Like when you look at any kind of financial paperwork, it's always all this fine print and there's no purpose to it. Like no one's sitting there looking at it, but now we have a purpose. We have a purpose to go through it and be like, okay, let me look for all the evil baddies.
Yeah. Evil baddies.
You know.
And guys,
where's Waldo against climate criminals? It's good. Hey, Helen!
Helen's here. Hi, Helen.
Okay, I've been putting this off. I don't know why, because I've been so busy working for Extinction Rebellion. I just don't have time. And there's things I have to work out because there's certain benefits with B of A, but this is important. I'm doing this.
Nice.
And if you don't already know it, if you have like a United Plus mileage card or an Amazon card, or just take a look at whatever cards you have. You would be surprised. Who knew? Chase, right? United Plus mileage card is actually underwritten by Chase. So I got to get rid of that one, and I got to get rid of my Bank of America, checking account, which is so handy, but I don't need it. Get rid of it. So I'm committing to doing this within the next day. Okay, how's that?
Wow.
Yes.
So starting, it's great to know. You start with small steps. Like I can't do it all immediately, but okay, we start doing the steps. And I got to say, Rose's handout is awesome, guys. It walks you through what you got to do. Because if the reason you've not done it is because, but wait, what do I do? And when do I close the noon? And what about the automatic things that are automatic, deposits and automatic, right? Like they talk you through it. Rose is awesome. She put together an awesome thing. Just saying.
Beautiful.
Cool.
Thank you, Helen.
Wow. I didn't know. I didn't know, Helen, that you can actually divest through your miles.
Well, my United Plus mileage card isn't underwritten by Chase.
Oh, I see.
So I just cut up I will have to get another credit card because that's the credit card I use, right?
Got it.
So I'm not going to get those precious miles, but who cares?
You're also not going anywhere anytime soon, Helen.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't need the miles.
No.
I'm gonna row from now on. Man.
Last time I saw Helen was I think we were at a demonstration and we were raising hell, and then I think
And people thought that I was actually introducing the real Jamie Dimon, who is president of Chase Bank. Because
you mean
people were so amazed that you would parachute, that you would like helicopter in just a block away and actually come to this demonstration and share with us your you had an epiphany, Larry.
when I was pretending to be Jamie Dimon, he's okay. He'll helicopter in. He might crush a few people to get there.
Well, yeah.
But that's okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Apparently, you keep the miles with United even if you close the Chase card.
Oh, shit.
No.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Clark.
Yeah, no, I'm just reading the chat.
It's good to know. It's a good thing to know.
Reading the chat. That's good. That's good.
Nice.
Spirit Airlines is like, we don't even have enough money to fly people, let alone invest.
Spirit is like,
Right.
Spirit is out of gas, first of all.
Right.
Spirit need gas money.
Spirit is changing to a bus company. They're just going to be a bus company.
Yeah, for
Easier.
sure. Well, thank you so much, Helen. I think we have another caller ready to pledge or talk to us.
Yeah, we actually have a very special guest up next. We are joined by one of our organizers, Annie Banks from the Wet'suwet'en Solidarity Front Bay Area. Welcome, Annie.
Yep.
Yay!
Hi, Annie. Hey, which one is Annie?
Which one? I'm
the big one.
Oh,
Audrey. Audrey's
Hi,
also
Audrey.
a member of the Wet'suwet'en Solidarity Front Bay Area.
Yay!
Yes.
Hi, Audrey.
They like watching this because it's like TV.
Yeah.
Featuring
She
them.
has not blinked.
No, and probably won't. But yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about a defunding day that we're actually doing today in solidarity with all the wonderful Earth Day actions that are happening. Like people said in the intro with acknowledgement that I really appreciated, I'm also here on Ohlone territories, and we form the Wet'suwet'en Solidarity Front Bay Area in solidarity with folks up north with the frontline Indigenous land defenders on Wet'suwet'en territories, where Audrey's been able to visit and is clearly very passionate. So I'll keep a description of what's been going on.
No, I love her passion. I love her passion.
That's right. That's fire. That's fire right there.
But basically what's been going on is that the Wet'suwet'en for time immemorial have been living on their lands and have never ceded it to the Canadian government. The Canadian government, however, has illegally occupied and sold off parts of their territories, but they never signed any treaties. So the hereditary leadership has come out unanimously against one of the most recent projects that was proposed and is being pushed through, despite even Canada's highest court saying that they do have title to their lands. And so now we're at the point where they have twice in 2 years used the Royal Canadian Mounted Police to force their way onto the territory. This year in February, they arrested dozens of people, including matriarchs on their own land while in ceremony. So it's these kinds of facts that we want to share to people when we talk about what their money's going towards. And so Chase Bank is the largest banker behind this project, the Coastal GasLink project. And KKR is also a private equity firm that is scheduled to buy 65% of the pipeline project. So today, a coalition of groups, including the Wet'suwet'en Solidarity Front Bay Area, Rising Tide North America, and a number of other groups, Wet'suwet'en Solidarity UK, so it's a global action. We're doing a global action day to shut down KKR. So it's a communications blockade. So we're calling, emailing, and tweeting, trying to fill people's inboxes, fill up their voicemail. We've done this several times, just really trying to keep the pressure on because we know we have a window before June for the purchase is not yet gone through. It's based on construction goals. So we're hoping that we can convince KKR that this is a really bad investment because people are dead set against this project going through because it's the equivalent of, it's a genocidal act to do this to people on their territory.
Man, thank you for this. This is stuff we don't get to see in the news.
Right.
which we should be seeing a lot more of. It's inundated.
So
It's wonderful.
I'm seeing it's the event day is here. It's not too late. It's not 5 o'clock yet, but emails and tweets still count after 5. So if
Great.
people want to get on that and say something to KKR, we also have a petition going that has over 220,000 signatures now, and we're going to do
wow.
online delivery. We've had to change up a lot of things because now we have to do everything virtually, but we're doing an online petition delivery. We'll probably mail it physically too, but all those signatures to KKR and to Chase.
Right.
So you can still get your name on there and tell them that you don't support this project.
And the hashtag is
shut down KKR and Wet Soda and Strong.
Wet Soda and Strong. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anne.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all.
Thank you for that update. I mean, I feel like after oh, bye, Audrey.
She back.
Don't you guys think like after the Dakota pipeline kind of drama that got a lot of coverage, I think people forgot about the struggles of sort of the fossil fuel, building on native lands, that it's still a struggle that's happening. Like, it's like duh, like that's good to remind everyone that this is something else that we can support.
Absolutely.
Especially when there's a opportunity to move legislation while people are hunkering. So we have to catch them and start those signatures.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
Well.
Fuck KKR.
Do you have any more people pledging? Yeah, for sure.
Right.
We do. We do have more
Hey,
people
Annie,
pledging.
yeah, I think we have another caller.
Do we have another caller? I think it's woo, ooh. I love that sound. I know it's not real, but I still love it.
It's a great sound effect. It's encouraging.
We got everyone on the line. We got Oprah on the phone. Leonardo DiCaprio answering the
Oprah's
phone.
totally with the cause.
She's so
Welcome.
Who do
down.
we have
Yeah.
next? Yes.
Hello.
Hello. Oh.
The defundometer is going down.
Yeah, we need more than that though.
Nice.
More defundometer go down. I see it though, it's working.
All right.
Oh my
Great.
God!
See a little green.
Oh my God! This
Wow.
is so exciting.
Beautiful.
It's a beautiful.
Okay.
That's encouraging.
Hey, Cynthia, and divesting, talk to us. What you up to?
Hello. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey.
I'm celebrating. I was celebrating all by myself, but I see there's a party going on. So
Cheers.
The glass.
I'm joining the party. So,
Pass that glass.
so yeah, I have a story.
Go.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm an anti-war and anti-extinction activist. As you can see, I work with Codepink and Extinction Rebellion.
Yes.
Yeah, and I have a 401k, which is my pension fund, and it's my money. And I can choose how I want that money invested. So today I was thinking, I'm going to just take a look at what's in my 401k. This is a little statement I got recently. And I've got some money invested in T. Rowe Price Blue Chip Growth. That sounds pretty impressive. So I decided to take a look at what that is. And I put the name of that investment in a program called As You Sow. I'm not talking about sowing. I'm talking about SOW, like sowing seeds, as you sow. And I put the name of that in there. And guess what I found out? I'm invested in Boeing. Boeing. Okay. So what's the deal about Boeing? Who cares, right?
Right.
Okay. It's the second largest arms dealer in the world next to Lockheed Martin and the #1 Yemen war profiteer, making a killing off of the tragic US-Saudi war in Yemen. In addition to that, as you probably know, all you guys, the war and the military are the biggest polluters on the planet. All that money that we spend on war and a war economy could be used instead for clean energy, healthcare for all, affordable housing, you name it, the stuff we need. We don't need war, continual war, and we don't need these fucking sanctions that are going on countries that are already suffering. So I took a look at that and I saw that, and I know a little bit about that Yemen war. We're funding the Saudi-led war on Yemen. Those people have a cholera outbreak. We have crushing economic sanctions on those people. And that was all before the pandemic hit. And the climate emergency is you know, that's going to be making everything even worse. And I don't want to support Boeing, for heaven's sakes.
Oh,
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't. So today I'm free of Boeing.
Yeah.
I cashed out. I cashed out. I want to say $53,000 is going to go into the Defundathon today.
Wow.
Cynthia.
I'm free at last.
Yes.
Yes, my bad. $53,000.
Yeah,
Tell
you
MVP.
can add that to the thermometer. Let's get it down.
Get
Yes.
that 53,000. Holy cow. Was it difficult to do, Cynthia? Did you have to make a bunch of calls back and forth, or was it
One phone call. One phone call.
a phone call?
It's going
One
down,
phone
folks. This is progress.
Cheers
I
to
need
you,
to-
Cynthia. Cheers to you.
Fantastic.
Cheers. I need to see that whole tree so I can roll it up.
That's right.
Only
This is good stuff. It's a delicious cider. I'll show you it.
Oh, okay.
Look, it's a bear riding a bicycle. Can't miss it.
Hey.
Thank
Okay,
you
so-
for letting me celebrate with you.
Thank you for doing what you're doing.
You
So,
bet.
do we have Pablo and Lorena on? We get, yeah. And that
Great.
speaker, yeah.
Great. I
Colombia
think we have,
Connection.
we have Lorena and Pablo from ColombiaConexion. How is everyone? Come on in.
Come on
Hey,
in.
can you hear us?
Hi, Lorena and
Yes.
Pablo.
How are you today, everyone?
Good.
Good.
Hi, Lori.
Hi, Pablo. Okay, so thanks so much for having us here. We are from ColombiaConexion, and today we just want to share that the impact of Chase doesn't understand borders of or walls. Our work for the couple of years has been protecting the environmental leaders down in Colombia and their communities, and we understand that a lot of that work doesn't recognize borders, and that's why we're here today working and joining this space. So we believe that the violence that our earth defenders are facing right now in Colombia is the result not only of the foreign policies of the United States, but also of the great investment that banks like Chase are doing in projects of drilling, oil drilling, fracking, and also mining. So, and these are the main reasons why people and communities in the front line in Colombia right now are being displaced, threatened, and persecuted. So the impact of Chase doesn't recognize the ideas of borders, and that's why we are participating in this space today, is to remind you that life is sacred. And
Yes.
people here in the Bay Area also understands that, and we want to connect with them because we understand that life is sacred, understanding life as a broader aspect of life, not just human life, but also all different ways of existing and living in the world. And we all have the right to live in the ways we decide and the terms we decide to live here. So ColombiaConexion is connected with this space and encouraging everybody to divest from Chase and to protect also the Amazon in Colombia. I will give the microphone to Paulito, who is going to tell us more about that.
Thank you, Lorena.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having us.
Hello.
Yes, as Lore was saying, we are here trying to make the connection between what is going on in Colombia and the finance process of these finance institutions like JP Morgan, Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America. They found big oil companies and mining companies like Exxon, Chevron, Dorman, ConocoPhillips, and Frontera Energy. And the investments that these banks made in these mining companies are resulting in a big, devastating impact in the Colombian communities, the people and the ecosystems in Colombia. As maybe you know, part of those ecosystems are in the Amazons. So Wells Fargo, JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, with the finances that they pass to these big mining companies, are deforesting the Amazon. And today, that's why we demand a new system that we can all start from here. If we pressure the government enough, if we make this action of taking our money in these big institutions, we can start a system based on sustainability and the care of life. We must respond to the climate crisis now, starting a fair energy transition that is not based in extractivism, but in sustainable agriculture, the kind of agriculture that the peasants and communities are doing in Colombia and most of Latin America. That's why we call on the social movements here to not desist in condemning the intervention of the United States and multinational companies in Latin America, and to insist on making visible the struggles of the communities that face the neoliberal model in all parts of the world. The current development model is dangerous, a factor for environmental leaders. Just in Colombia, from 2016, when the peace agreements were signed, more than 800 environmental leaders have been assassinated. Today, we call for solidarity in the middle of the pandemic that exacerbates the effects of the crisis on the most vulnerable of the populations. Honoring the earth and its defenders is a task that must be constant. Today, we remember the importance of the meaning of community and collectivity in the fight for the environment. In the time of climate change, native people and local communities are essential for the conservation and balance of the ecosystem. Uniting our struggles, united as a movement, we can move ahead, and we can help the oppressed communities in Colombia and help the fight for a clean ecosystem. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Pablo. Thank you, Lorena.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pablo.
Don't you? I feel like I always forget how global all of these banks are, and how they're just craggly little fingers are just in every pot.
Every pot.
Every pot.
Every single one of them.
And you know what made me like really angry? Like, I have been working with Lorena and my friends in all this, trying to put what is going on in Colombia. And just in this month, with my taxes that I pay here, the government gives a lot of money to these big companies, right, to the oil companies, the mining company, and the banks. And what can we do? So, yeah.
Divest. Call right
now. What can we do but divest?
Right now.
Yeah. Do the call right now. Divest.
Later.
Credit card.
Now.
Got the credit card. Don't worry about the mileage. Just worry about a different model, a different way of living. The right to exist in our own terms, and the right to be free for real.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yes, snaps. Yeah. Do we snap? Do we clap? What are we? What are we doing? Are we clapping? Are we snapping?
Alternate.
As long as you ain't touching nobody, you good, because you got to stay clean. Just whatever you got to do. Give yourself a dap, like one of those.
Yeah, honestly, these days, I'm just hugging myself and rocking. You know what I mean? I feel like that's what I'm doing. Let's just hug ourselves and rock.
Self-therapy, that's important. Yeah.
Seriously.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Gracias, amigos. Gracias.
Thank you for us. Thank you for doing this. Thank you.
Yes. Hug trees.
I know Marion's on the chat saying we can hug trees, which is facts. We can do that.
True, we can hug trees.
Yes.
Oh, just wipe it down afterwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Spray it.
That's a good point. Somebody else might hug that tree 30 seconds later. You don't know.
Ask
the time.
for consent.
Always.
Ask the
trees.
trees.
Always.
Just
The
crowd.
trees.
Always.
For
Trees are
sure.
living
By the way,
things.
Tree.
Yes.
We might not have time for it, but I do have a top secret Wells Fargo document. It's a PowerPoint of their internal calculations. So
Oh, let's
just
see.
so you know.
Whoa,
time.
is that real or did you make that up? That's real?
I mean, it's real enough.
Really?
It's real, like I'm Jamie Dimond or
Yeah.
the Black Rock. I lose track of all the people I impersonate, but
We'll allow it.
I'll just look real quick. I'll just let you know. Like basically, this was Wells Fargo's fossil fuels plan, right? And it's kind of like they know there's the fires, or that's the index of the fires, index of the floods, and of course the profits also are going up at the same time. Now there's also popular rebellions. This is a very advanced PowerPoint, by the way.
Yeah,
This is my analog PowerPoint. Now, one of the thing is like, where are all these profits going? And that's the extra flap, which is the other frame. Oh, it's going for their spaceship that's going to take to planet B. So all the money goes in here and fuels it, right? And they're going to planet B. There is a planet B. People say there's no planet B. There actually is. So that's where they're going with all your money. And then you might ask, where are you? What's happening to you? And this is us on fire or underwater.
Oh my.
You get to choose because that's consumer choice. You get to be drowning or on fire. And that's actually, this is a real document I found on the Wells Fargo, like secret hacked in there, right?
Fantastic.
And
Fantastic.
now we know the plan. You're like, what is their plan? It's so irresponsible the way they're doing. Now we know what the plan is.
Yes.
Science, folks.
Larry, I love that the profits are going right into the asshole of the CEO.
That's exactly it. That's where he's shoving the money. He's shoving the money right there. He doesn't need it, so he's running out of things to do with it. He has so much.
Also, is that your penmanship? It is gorgeous.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah. Just trying to put a little style in it.
Thanks for that educational interlude. Let's get some more defunders on the line.
Yes.
Let's hear.
Who's next? Do we have Philip? Do we have Philip ready?
Philip Morton?
Who's the caller?
Oh.
That rotary phone.
Oh, good. So satisfying.
It's so it's nostalgic.
Yes.
Welcome
Philip
to the
there?
show, Philip.
What's up, Philip?
I just had money at Wells Fargo.
Oh, no. Really?
That's what's up.
Wells Fargo.
I don't have it anymore.
Nice.
Yay!
And I told them I'm taking it out because of their lack of commitment to climate justice.
How did they respond?
Yes, that's beautiful.
I think they just went in the paper basket.
Right.
We
Didn't
don't
think
care.
about- They don't care because you're
We
just
don't have
one
a
of the
million. We don't care.
Yeah, that's true. But it does matter though. 1 million or not 1 million.
Yeah.
We are a
but-
collective group.
Now I'm going to start talking to this lady who's a financial advisor at Smith Barney. They're not as big a hitter as Wells Fargo or Chase, whatever it's called, JP Morgan Chase, but Morgan Stanley is no peanuts.
Yeah. That's fantastic. How did it feel when you did that?
Yeah, so this financial planner there is my daughter's boyfriend's aunt. So it's like, I got to lean on her a little bit.
Sounds legit.
Excellent.
Keep it in the family.
Use the leverage.
That's a good idea.
That's
Keep it in the family. Shop local.
Thank you.
Yep.
Oh, wait, we got the defundometer. Let's see where we're at. We're making progress.
Oh my gosh.
This is incredible.
Draining
Oh,
it. We're
man.
draining it.
This is amazing. Oh, we can do this to the planet.
Almost
That is
there.
amazing.
Yeah.
This is
Yay,
amazing.
Philip.
You brought us down, Philip.
Oh, I'll
Philip,
bring you
that
down
was you.
further.
Thank you.
Almost there.
Yay. Thank you. Thanks so much to Philip.
That's so
Yeah. Go, Philip. Go, Philip.
I feel like we have
Philip,
another
beautiful.
we have another speaker coming on, right, Sandra?
who did?
Yeah, we do. I also wanted to give Eleanor a shout out. She pledged on the chat. She's moving her money out of Bank of America at the end of May 2020.
Yes.
So let's give it up for Eleanor.
You won't regret it,
Yes.
Eleanor.
Pledge.
You won't regret it.
For you. Good for you, Eleanor. You don't need Bank of America and their version of Alexa named Erica, who doesn't work anyway.
Yeah.
What? They have a thing?
Is that a thing? Yeah, that's beautiful.
And they have a whole thing. It's trash.
He's just, I want your money.
Oh,
Very
fascinating.
That's all it says, no matter what you say.
So, no matter what your problem, press
It just
1
says,
to
"Give me
give
your
us
money."
your money. Press 2 to give us your money. Press pound to give us your money and hang up.
Oh, Lord.
Basically.
Ruthless.
Yeah, I think we got Scott ready to go.
All right, let's welcome
Scott.
Scott from Rainforest Action Network.
Hey, everybody.
What's up, Scott?
How's it going?
Great. How you?
Hey.
I'm good.
Laughing and
Go ahead.
Nope, you go ahead, Scott.
Okay. Yeah, so Rainforest Action Network, we've been working on the Chase campaign. We've been working on bank campaigns for 20 years. I've campaigned against every bank you could possibly imagine. We decided a long time ago that just asking oil companies to stop drilling oil or asking mining companies to stop mining was basically asking them to stop doing what they existed to do. And while we want that, we also wanted them to stop sooner than that. And so we kind of started going after secondary targets like banks. And so we've been going after Chase for like the last 3 years. Chase has put $250 billion into the fossil fuel sector since the Paris agreements. And so it's just like continuing to get worse and worse. And so that's why we've been so excited to see Stop the Money Pipeline sort of happen here. What we're doing, the kind of most recent updates is we've begun to target members of their board. And so we've actually gone and done like home visits of their board in places like Chicago and Florida and things like that, they're like kind of beachfront property, which won't be there much longer. And then we've also been really going after Lee Raymond, who's on their board, who's the most senior member of their board. He's actually the former CEO of ExxonMobil. And when you think about ExxonMobil, we often think about climate denial, and he is the person who is like behind all of that. He is like most responsible for that. And now he's on Chase's board. So it actually makes sense that they continue to be just dug in and funding fossil fuels. The last thing I'll say is that we've been doing Stop the Money Pipeline nationally has been doing call-in days all day. And so I'm gonna share this link. And so that's basically the call-in action that folks can call Chase. You can also call the other targets for Stop the Money Pipeline, which is BlackRock, which is a nasty investor, asset manager, and then also Liberty Mutual, which is also like one of the big insurance companies, which insures all these companies.
Wait, Liberty Mutual it's bad.
Oh yeah,
Liberty. No way. And they have they wear the Statue of Liberty is their thing.
This
They're
is
tricky
true.
sons of bees. Tricky.
Yeah, they have a good public relations team. Advertising.
They do.
Give us your money. Give us your checking account information. Give us your social security. They want everything.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Scott, that's very cool. Where are you located at?
I'm in Berkeley today.
Hey, California.
I'm also part of Rising Tide, which is one of the sponsors of this group,
very cool.
Today.
For having us, and I guess you're our boss.
I don't know about that. I'm nobody's boss.
Scott,
I guess.
Scott, have you seen the chat? Because as you've been speaking, you need to know that everyone is loving your voice and they want you to do finance ASMR videos to be very calming and soothing for the masses.
Yes, I'm a fan.
I would love to do that.
That's amazing. No, you agitate us on the issue and then you calm us down so we can deal with the issue more.
Yeah.
Well, when you're in the eye of the storm with like lots of like bankers and cops and other unsavory figures around, you need to be calm, not panic.
Yeah,
absolutely. Fear is the mind killer. Absolutely.
It is
true.
Teach that calmness that Berkeley provides.
And that deck, everybody loves the deck too, Scott.
Yes, we like the underside.
It's like a ski. I live in a ski lodge. You know,
that's nice.
It's like Tahoe in the suburbs of Berkeley here.
Scott's voice and natural wood. It's all day.
Yeah.
Just all day.
That's the scent.
Scott.
Yeah.
And that's where it gets sketchy.
Oh, and I have a podcast. As my fans are talking about my podcast too. If you want to check it out.
Yeah,
What's the podcast? What's the name
awesome.
of it?
It's awesome.
It's called Green and Red, and I do it with a Marxist history professor, and we talk about radical environmental and anti-capitalist politics.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And I think my co-host is actually listening in on the live stream, or at least he told me he was a little on. So
great.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, fantastic.
Thank you, Scott.
Yeah,
Thank
no
you,
worries.
Scott.
Woo.
Bye, Scott.
Yeah, Scott.
Looks like we
Now,
We have another caller.
now Scott is gone, my blood pressure's going back up. You know what I mean? Like,
Scott, we need you.
We have Jim Thompson on the line. Hi, Jim.
yay.
Hey, folks, it's a pleasure to be here. I wanted to let you know that this is taking me back in time, and I'm using this experience to try to be young again, because about 50 years ago, I was a draft resistor, and everybody was burning their draft cards. And so my friends and I decided that we would cut up my draft card, and my friend Susan Vernig baked it into a cake, and we all ate it. And then I sent a letter to my draft board. But I don't think eating this plastic would work.
It's not good roughage. I know what you're thinking, but it's not good.
Yeah, you know, probably recycle it in some art project or something. But this is so easy. You know, when I did that with my draft card, I could have gone to prison. I'm not going to go to prison. I'm just gonna cut this sucker and.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good to hear. Oh, it's yes, that was inspiring. Thank you. We've got to check the defundometer now. We got to check the defundometer.
I would say too that it's really easy to get another credit card. Many credit unions.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, we made it. Oh, we made it to the rock concert.
Look at the celebration. It looks so real. It's like we're there.
It's a celebration, bitches.
Oh my God.
Nice.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yes, Jim, you took us over the top.
Beautiful.
Sandra with the music.
Celebrate.
We did it.
Be so
Actually, yes, Clark, I was gonna play that song. And, and because of copyright, we didn't.
Oh, we can always sing it. They can't stop us from karaoke in it.
Wow, awesome! I think we're running toward the end of our defundathon, right, Sandra?
Yeah, we are coming up on time, and we can hang for just a little minute longer. I'd like to get one last speaker in here, Maureen Katz from 1000 Grandmothers. And yeah, thank you to all of the organizers, SF Bay, 350.org, Silicon Valley, 350.org, SF Bay, 1000 Grandmothers, Wet Sweat and Solidarity, Front Bay Area, and Codepink. So Maureen, welcome.
Yay.
All right, I'm unmuted. Hello.
Hello,
Hi, Maureen.
Hey, Maureen.
Are you on Planet B?
That's right, Planet B. What I was going to tell you is, like, you know, we're from the grandmothers, and I wrote a little on the chat. You never call, you never write. We got half a minute to tell you how much we love you all. But I'm a member of 1000 Grandmothers, Future Generations, and we're a Bay Area organization committed to staying present and organized around climate justice, supporting frontline communities and Indigenous peoples in struggle. I love the Defundathon, and along with the great work of the Stop the Money Pipeline and the Chase divestment, we're currently supporting and engaged with Stand and Protect the Bay. We're organizing to keep the Army Corps of Engineers from dredging the bay. And we threw down the link, hopefully, about writing a note. They've extended the comment periods until this Sunday. There's a plan to dredge the bay, supported by local refineries, so that they can bring in tar sands in heavy tankers. So they need the bay to be dredged so that they can carry in heavier ships. And so this is, of course, the tar sands, the dirtiest and toxic soil on the planet, exploiting the Indigenous peoples in Canada. So you can write the Army Corps of Engineers. If you go on the link, it shows sample letters as well as where to send your comments to. We're also part, we have time for this, Sandra? You guys?
Yeah, we
we're
got
also
time.
part of the SF Bay Area Climate Justice NVDA Nonviolent Direct Action Spokescouncil, which a bunch of the sponsors of this are as well. And that's a loose coalition of environmental activist organizations. And we're excited to share our proposal for how we imagine collectively moving forward after you've cut up your cards with Climate Justice NVDA for Labor Solidarity. Now, we have a subcommittee that was originally charged with exploring solidarity activities for May Day, for International Workers' Day, which is next Friday. But we've come up with a broader proposal of support for frontline workers in this moment of the COVID and the ongoing climate crisis. So I'd like to read part of the proposal, if that's okay. We, the Bay Area Climate Justice, NVDA, are writing to offer to mobilize our resources and support to all frontline workers during this crisis and for labor into the future. The COVID-19 pandemic has made evident the contradictions of the current social and economic system, and it has inspired us to rethink our own understandings of community and solidarity. We'd like to use our networks, media contacts, comedians, and physical presence and material aid to support working people standing together. We reject the violence of a system that values certain lives more than others, promotes overworking of humans, and is fueled by the plunder of nature. We want to connect with you and interweave our capacity for political advocacy, our resistance, our struggles. In this time of crisis, it is important to come back to relationships and solidarity as the social glue that bonds our communities together. The NVDA Spokescouncil would like to offer our solidarity to you, the frontline labor groups, and offer our resources and support to your needs and collective struggles. We are a loose coalition of environmental activist organizations here in San Francisco Bay Area, with many minds, hearts, and hands available to support you in whatever initiatives would be most impactful. The Spokescouncil came together to coordinate nonviolent direct actions during the global climate youth strike in September of 2019. We'd love to connect and start a conversation about how we might be able to help current actions and initiatives and support your needs. And this is in solidarity signed so far by those of us on the subcommittee, the ColombiaConexion, SF Bay, Diablo Rising Tide, the Thousand Grandmothers, and Extinction Rebellion SF Bay.
Wow.
I'll say one last thing, which is next week is May Day, right? International Workers' Day. Just as working people were getting into the streets and striking to demand legislations to address injuries of the Great Depression 90 years ago, older than us grandmas, ultimately bringing about the New Deal, we need to get into the streets to bring about the Green New Deal. Just, safe, sustainable jobs, country bailing out people, not fossil fuels, creating clean jobs, livable wages, dignity, and healthcare, and to force divestment in fossil fuels. So let's defund today and see each other on the street as soon as we are able.
Yes, Green New Deal. Green New Deal.
Oh,
yeah.
GND.
Woo, woo. Thank you so much, Maureen. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh my God, I wish we could be on the street. The Green New Deal is amazing. LA's done their own version of it. I can't wait to see it go global, man. This is such a good time.
For sure.
And I'm just excited. This was great.
Yes.
Thank you for having
We did
us.
it.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. We did it. We met
We're officially climate
Thank you.
Canadians.
It's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, big thanks to all of the NVDA, Nonviolent Direct Action Spokescouncil organizers who put this together. And if you didn't pledge divestment today, you can download resources on our website, xrsfbay.org, Extinction Rebellion, SF Bay. And you can also make a pledge on our website and we'll account your defunding. And big thanks from Mother Earth and from all of the creatures that live on her. Happy Earth Week. Every day is Earth Day. We love you.
Hey.
We really appreciate y'all being here.
Yes.
Yep.
Thanks for having
Thank
us.
It was a pleasure.
Thanks for having us. Bye.
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 Bye.